Hey, this is Misty with the Manamal Streaming Radio, here with Tempt's guitarist Harrison Marcello. How are you today, Harrison?
I'm wonderful, Misty. How are you doing?
I'm doing really, really well. You might remember the band from the beginning of our station launch. We interviewed the lead singer, Zach Allen, so we brought the guitarist in to fill us in on what's been going on with them. Now, it really seems like since the first interview, you guys have been trucking right along and fast. How is this whirlwind feeling for you?
It's feeling great. I mean, it's great to finally have things kind of clicking and coming together, and really, I feel like we're building, like a fan community on our Facebook page and our social media. That's Tempt Band, by the way. I know you'll probably have some of that linked and stuff, but yeah, I feel like it's going great. We're super excited. We have a lot of content that we've been working on, so we're definitely keeping up with the pace, and it's super exciting.
And it's really showing, too. I mean, the things that you guys have done in just a short amount of time is just amazing. Now, I want to get into the album Runaway. I think that is a brilliant, brilliant album. Each song is kind of reminiscent of 80s rock, but you still put a modern edge on it. Was that the sound you were striving for, or did that just happen like that?
I mean, I think it's what we were going for. We really like the whole aesthetic of the classic rock and the arena rock of the 70s and 80s, bands like Foreigner, Def Leppard, obviously Bon Jovi, those types of acts are a huge influence on us, and that being our first record and our first time really trying to write, 10 to 14 songs and with lyrics and all and production and everything. Obviously, we drew heavily from our influences, but we wanted to kind of update that sound because I think that there's kind of a void in music now where I think people want anthemic music. They want fun rock, but, the only music that really exists in the mainstream of the rock space is either, very indie and alternative or really heavy. And I think there's a missed opportunity by a lot of groups to, revive that kind of, just normal standard Billboard top 100, top 10 rock style. And obviously, with today's modern recording equipment, production, there's a lot of influences that we have that are, modern bands as well, from, Bruno Mars, Taylor Swift. So we try to, we really want to try to update that sound, and we really think that, this type of music can make a comeback, given the right treatment and the right exposure.
I really love the fact that you guys say the kids want to rock, because that's so true. I mean, a friend who works actually at a Christian daycare center, and they play Tempt up there from her phone, and these little toddlers are dancing around, and it's like, it gives them a foundation. I mean, even though they're little, they're still understanding, hey, this is something that I like, so maybe the next generation yet is going to be even bigger fans.
Yeah, and something I've noticed when we played these shows, and we when we first started the band, obviously we had to bring our friends to shows, and then they would bring their friends, and we built kind of a younger fan base in New York City. And one thing I've noticed is that a lot of younger kids that are either millennials, like my age, or even younger, don't actually have a rock music experience. They don't really know bands like I mentioned before, like Foreigner or Def Leppard or Bon Jovi. They don't realize that this type of rock music exists, and that there's really kind of fun rock that has an edge to it, but you can sing along to, because their parents might have not have been big rock fans. They were never showed this stuff. Obviously, I was lucky enough to have a family, and a lot of people are lucky enough to have families who brought them to concerts and introduced them to this type of music. But I think a lot of kids don't know as much as a lot of adults might think they know. And so when they're exposed to, a band like us that's even putting a more modern spin on it, we're also young,
think so too. You guys are already off to a rockin' start, that's for sure. Now let's talk Under My Skin. You put the video out in March, and you have already over 52,000 plus views. That is absolutely amazing. Can you tell us the origin of the song?
The origin of the song was, like a lot of songs, we come up, with the chorus melody first. So that's something that Zach and I came up with. And then, Zach, we wrote this song actually a few years before the album came out, like 2 years before. And I believe, it's kind of old now, so I'm always forgetting, but I believe the origin was of with Zach was of a girl that was a kind of, an on and off relationship he was having in high school. And that was kind of, the impetus for the hook Under My Skin, about someone, that you hate to love, basically. And that's really what the song, it's someone or something you hate to love. And then music video that we did for it was just, I think, a really fun video of showcasing our hometown and, people in the city and reacting to the music. And it's amazing to see the response we've gotten, because it seems people are really connecting to it, and that's kind of the biggest payoff as an artist that's involved in, popular music, is that you have this idea, you work on it for so long, and the whole time you're not really sure if it's going to go over well with everyone else. And then the Under My Skin video has just gotten so much praise, and it makes us so happy and appreciative that people, get the message, get the whole rock is back message from the video, and are really enjoying watching it, because it was super fun to make.
Yeah, that's what I was just going to say. It looked like you guys were just having the time of your life. And obviously you can tell that you're very much in love with your city, which is great. The great representation of New York City. So that's great. Now, you also have a couple of newer cover songs out. You have Queen's We Will Rock You, and Charlie, I can't pronounce his list. Is it Puffs?
Yeah.
Done For Me. I really, really love the fact that you can keep the integrity of the songs, but you tastefully put your spin on them. How do you choose what cover songs you do?
I think, covers are an interesting thing, because like you said, you don't want to just copy the song, because everyone will prefer the original. Usually there's some rare cases where they don't. You don't want to copy it. You want to make it your own thing. You want to add your own production elements to it. But also at the same time, there is some strategic planning with covers that, are we trying to reach a certain audience with this? And is that audience going to like what we do? And then will that then expose them to our own music? So when we're choosing our covers, obviously we want to go with songs we like, because covering a song you don't like, never ends up going well. You want to be invested in the song. You want to be able to create something new, and you hear something new in the song that you can kind of exploit for yourself. But yeah, obviously when we do covers, like when we did the Woman cover, which, I think you've talked about before, which was retweeted by Def Leppard, that was a huge boost to us, because we were connecting with a large audience that was already established that appreciated us, and then that kind of, translated into them, finding our music. Same with the Queen cover. Doing the covers like the Pooh and Taylor Swift covers, those have been really successful, because I think, like I mentioned before, we're able to kind of insert ourselves into a very young audience that will stumble upon a video, maybe in the recommended videos on YouTube or something, and be able to say, oh, well, here's a song I really like by Taylor Swift or Charlie Puth, and I also really like, so I'm already kind of, predisposed to liking it, and now I'm hearing the guitar on it and the more rock production on a song I really like, and this is actually a really cool sound, and I'm really into it. So I think with doing kind of the more modern covers, those are songs we like, but it's also a way for us to kind of insert ourselves into that younger generation, and for those types of kids to get exposed to, hearing guitars in their favorite songs and learning to like that sound.
That's awesome. Now, how did it feel when Def Leppard responded to your cover song?
It's still pretty amazing. It was at the time a huge shock, because we had released that cover about 2 weeks prior to them posting it. So it obviously had gained some traction on its own. But it was we were fielding comments, and it was doing well. And then we were at a rehearsal, and Zach, we must have been taking a break or something, and Zach actually saw the post they made on their Instagram with our video. And he was just like, guys, I think Def Leppard just posted our video on their Instagram. So it totally caught us off guard. And from there on, it was just, a cascade of, people coming to our page. Everyone really loved it, which is great because Def Leppard's not an easy band to cover. And yeah, I still can't believe they actually did a social media blast like that. And the best part about it was it exposed a lot of their fans to our music, and it gave us a lot of new great fans. And I think it's just really great and reflects really well on Def Leppard that they took the time, for free, no, haggling or anything. Just recognize our cover. They liked it, and they paid it forward by posting a younger band's video on their page. And I think that a lot of bands need to start doing that. And if they're going to lament, the quote unquote death of rock that all these people like Gene Simmons and stuff have been saying forever, rock can be kept alive and it can be made big again. But some of these bands are going to have to, if they want to, pay it forward. I think it's just amazing that Def Leppard just took the time to do that, to give us that kind of shout out and that credit. And it's just amazing that happened. And big thanks to those guys in a lot of respect. They're my favorite band too. So the whole thing was just kind of amazing for me.
Well, I have to say, when the first time I heard that, after I heard your cover, it was an accident actually. I typed at a typo on YouTube, and I think I told Zach this before. You look at a song that somebody covers, and if it's somebody that you really love, which Def Leppard is one of my all-time favorites, you kind of get cringy in the beginning. And then I was listening to the song, and my jaw just dropped. And for the last 2 months, I listen to you guys. I don't listen to theirs anymore, which is, sorry to say, Def Leppard. But sometimes I just forget it's not them. You guys do an amazing job on that. I love it. Love it, love it.
Thank you. Yeah, I mean, I love that song. I think it's like a really underrated song by them. And I've listened to that song. I think it says in my iTunes play count, like 9,000 times. So I really wanted to do a good job, and we really wanted to do a good job, paying homage to that song, adding our own spin to it, and adding our own spin to it, and just giving it the respect we think it deserves, and I think we did really well on that. So I'm really happy with how it came out and how people have responded to it.
The other two Def Leppard covers, Hysteria and Bringing on the Heartbreak. Bringing on the Heartbreak is something that's very near and dear to me. And when I heard you guys cover that, I was like, I couldn't believe that you had such seasoned sounds. You know what I mean? For as young as you guys are, you just sound like you've been doing it your whole life.
Yeah, I mean, for Zach and I, most of our lives we have been doing it, and we were lucky enough to, have really hit it off the moment we met, 4 or 5 years ago, and when we just started hanging out and jamming together, and we've really established an artistic relationship and connection, both as, professionals and as friends, and we just love doing this type of thing. So, I think if you love doing it, it's not a chore for you, and you can connect with the music like that. I think anyone can kind of have that sound. So we're just glad that we're able to do this and do it, and that people enjoy it. So, and what was funny is that there's 2 Def Leppard videos that we did acoustically, not the woman video. Like you said, Hysteria and Bringing on the Heartbreak. Those we made a couple years ago, and people finding this woman cover and being exposed to it had, those covers have resurfaced because people are going through our YouTube and found them. And I'd almost forgotten about them, so it's kind of nice to have those resurfaced and people to go back and seeing new comments on those videos. It's been great.
That's awesome. Now, how old were you when you started to play guitar?
I started seriously playing when I was around 12 or 13, and a year or 2 before that, I kind of, was dabbling in it. I had a guitar, I didn't really play it, knew a few chords and stuff. But once I was
you're awesome. You're definitely a pro at it. That was definitely your calling.
Thank you. It does feel like that sometimes. I'm just lucky to be able to do that.
Now, if you weren't a musician, what do you think you'd be doing?
Oh God, that's such a hard question. I'm not sure. I mean, I'm really into like history and philosophy, so maybe something in that field. I also do Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, but I'm not that good at it. But yeah, probably something in history or philosophy, something strange and esoteric like that. Or skiing too. I'm a big skier, so either ski bum or philosopher. Let's go with those two.
Okay, I've held off as long as I could on this question. We need the scoop about opening for Bon Jovi at Madison Square Garden. What an incredible feeling that must have been for you guys. Can you walk us through the contest and fill us in on the show?
Yeah, so that was obviously insane for any band. You know, their first time playing an arena, and it's not just any arena; it's the world's most famous arena, Madison Square Garden. And the contest, you know, we've entered a few contests similar to this. Nothing is big, and you just never know with these types of contests. You don't know who's really judging it, and what other bands are involved in it. But it was through WBAB, which is a radio station in Long Island, and we actually went for an interview 2 days before there, and they're all great people. It was really great to meet everyone there and do an interview at that station. It was super fun.
Okay, I've held off as long as I possibly could asking you about this. We definitely need the scoop about Open Up for Bon Jovi at Madison Square Gardens. Can you walk us through the contest and fill us in on the show?
Yeah, so that was really amazing. Obviously, you know, any band's first time playing an arena is going to be, you know, a whole whirlwind of emotions and excitement. And it wasn't just any arena; it was at Madison Square Garden too, which, you know, is one of the most famous arenas in the world. And basically, you know, we found this competition through WBAB, and you know, we've done a few competitions before, nothing this big, but, you know, just here and there. I've done competitions even before Tempt as a guitar player, and you never really know what's going to happen with them, on who's judging them and whatnot, and who the other bands are. But we entered this competition, we won our first round, and then obviously we found out we won the final round, and we were just insanely excited, like jumping up and down. Oh my God, we're going to open for Bon Jovi, one of, you know, our favorite artists, and playing at an arena is just going to be insane. And we did an interview with everyone at WBAB in Long Island and met them in person. And they were all great and super supportive, and they loved us, and it was such a fun time. And then the day of the show, we showed up there at MSG at around 2 o'clock. We'd been rehearsing like crazy, just so we could go out there and just focus on performing and having a great time, and not even having to worry about, you know, what we're playing, just so we could have it down, total muscle memory. And then we got there too. Bon Jovi people were great. We got a sound check in the arena, which was super fun, you know, standing on his big stage out there. And then we actually met John after our sound check, and he was a super nice guy. We just like shot the shit with him for a bit. We got a photo with him, and he just continued to congratulate us, and it was that whole thing was amazing to meet someone like that, because, you know, he just got inducted in the Rock Hall of Fame, so I mean, he's like a real legend now, and he's always been a legend. But I mean, that's almost like meeting like Michael Jackson or someone at this point. His career is just so amazing and so storied, and then to actually get out on that stage in these opening act was just, I mean, I wouldn't say we were like nervous, but it was just an amazing shot of adrenaline, and then being up there was so much fun. And I have to say, we really letting a band like us, open up for them and get that exposure and have that experience. It was really great. So thank you to everyone involved. Thank you to John and the crew especially, and then thank you also for WBAB for hosting the actual competition and allowing us that opportunity.
Well, we at the Manamal were certainly excited for you guys, and we voted as much as we possibly could, and we kind of, I don't know, you're kind of like, we call you our like station children. That's just kind of, maybe it's because of the way, well, it's how we kind of stumbled upon you, and then, wanted to help boost it. We love you. We really do.
Aw, thank you guys.
I had a question asked by one of your fans. It was a newer fan, actually. She would like to know, what is your favorite dessert?
Dessert?
Yes.
My favorite dessert? Oh, that's going to be hard. That's going to be a toss-up between, like, profiteroles. I don't know if everyone's familiar with that, but it's like ice cream with, like a puff pastry. It's an Italian dish. It's really good. And also, I have to say, creme brulee I really like. There's nothing like being at a good restaurant and getting a good creme brulee. So it's a toss-up for me between those two.
Both of those are winners in my book, too. The second would like to know, what is your favorite brand of guitars, and how many do you have?
My favorite brand of guitars is definitely Shure guitar. They're like for me just the most reliable, best brand to play on for me. They feel amazing. There's the tones you can get on those guitars are great, and Shure has become really popular. A lot of people lately, they're doing a great job creating guitars, and as these companies like Gibson and Fender, I think they've both filed for bankruptcy. I think that a lot of these more independent brands are going to start really rising through the ranks. People are going to start using them, and then I have a bunch of guitars. I have guitars from my Shure guitars to Kramer guitars to Fender and Gibson. I think in total I have about 10, including my acoustic. So there's no shortage of guitars in my house. If anything, I probably will need to get rid of a few of them.
Nah, you don't want to do that. There's history.
I know.
Do you guys have anything new in the works that you can share with us?
I would just encourage everyone to stay tuned to like our Facebook and all our social media. All of it just under Tempt Band, the Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and stuff, because we did get signed by TKO Management, which is our TKO agency, which is a booking agency, and they will be getting us on a bunch of shows this summer. Definitely going to be doing a tour at some point. I'm not sure any of the specifics, so everyone's going to have to stay tuned for that. And then, the best way, obviously, to stay tuned is through our social media. And then we have a bunch of new songs we've finished to figure out the best way to release those. So we're definitely going to have a lot of new music coming out in the summertime, which will be great.
Awesome. That's good. We like to hear that, too. We definitely want to push everything that you guys got. So is there any upcoming shows that you'd like to tell people about?
There's nothing that we have in the works. We have stuff in the works. There's nothing we have officially booked right now. And like I said, we just got signed with this booking agency. So I would just say, we'll keep you posted, and if people want to stay posted on themselves, like I said, visit the Facebook and stuff. But we're just kind of coming off this MSG thing, so it's time to get back to work and start scheduling shows and doing things again. So, but we'll definitely have a bunch of shows planned coming up and actually scheduled down.
Okey-doke. Well, Harrison, it has really been great talking with you today. As I said before, we really love you at the radio station. We really see big things for you guys in the future, that's for sure. So, like you said, you're going to keep us posted. Anytime you post, videos, share them, and we'll get them out there. For all of our listeners, please check out Tempt on Facebook and Twitter, and check out all of their covers and their album Runaway. They rock hard.